And I'm back! Yes, so, okay, I've decided to make this video after kung hindi gumawa ng video na matagal sa YouTube. Kasi I experienced something new and it's very relevant nga din. And, you know, I'm really making this video more for like the balikbayans who want to travel back to the Philippines or OFWs or sa mga relatives nyo na baka gusto nilang bumalik and then, you know, kasi di ba ang takot ng mga tao ngayon to travel, parang nakaka-overwhelm. I would like this video to be as informative as it could be. And, you know, gusto kong ma-share sa inyo yung na-experience ko. So, I went back home to the US in July, early part of July, kasi I had to, I had to take a break kasi I was embarking on some personal projects and at the same time nakaka-drain kasi like the situation. So I decided, sige, okay, we will go home to the US. So I took my daughter with me. Now, going to the US, ang nakakangarag na part lang was the RT PCR. 'Di ba? Yun lang yung parang oh my gosh, hassle. Pero other than that, the rest was okay. Actually, yung pabalik, more or less the same din naman yung dadaanan mo eh. Kaya lang, andun lang yung anxiety ba na parang, anong pwede mangyari? Diba? So, the first step that I did is that, I went into the airline's website. I flew with Philippine Airlines kasi. So, I went into their website and took a look at the requirements, just like I did before when I was flying to the US. So, going back, ganun na yung ginawa ko. 3 days before my flight to Manila, nag-download na ako ng mga forms na requirements. So, there would be parang 3 forms and 1 app that you need to make sure you have. The first one is the ECIF or the Electronic Case Investigation Form. So, kasi that's with Philippine Airlines. I'm not sure lang if the other airlines flying to Manila have the same process, but this is Philippine Airlines. And I think more or less parang halos habulan lang ng proseso. So, you fill it out, ECIF, Electronic Case Investigation Form. You fill it out online. And then, it comes back with an email na ganito. So, it gives you a separate unique QR code for each passenger. So, yan. Nakuha ko yan. And then, aside from that, ang isa pang form that you need to fill out is the one for the Bureau of Quarantine, which is the health declaration form. So, health declaration registration. So, again, you fill it out online. Tapos, it comes back with this. Yan. So, may unique QR code ulit with all the information that you need or they need about you and your flight. Tapos, I also saw that I needed to, there was the affidavit of undertaking form on the Philippine Airlines side. By the way, all the forms and all the, like the app, whatever you need, I will make a link down at the description box. So, it's easier for you to navigate. So, I also downloaded the affidavit of undertaking and, signed off on it. Although I dated it to the day on my flight, of my flight. Tapos, because, ano lang ako, OC, char. Hindi. I printed these out. Pero you need not print these. Okay? You need not print these. Make sure lang that your QR code is on your phone, on your mobile phones. Okay? So, you have those forms. And then what I did is I booked an accredited hotel for quarantine. So, like, right now, we are staying at the New World Hotel here in Makati. Ito yung nabook ko through booking.com. You can also go through, kasi Philippine Airlines has a list of mga hotels din, I think, in their website. You can go through that, or you can book directly with the hotel. Just need to make sure with the Department of Health na accredited yung hotel na yun for quarantine. So, aside from that, you also need to make sure that you download this, which is the Traze App. Again, the link I will put below. You have to have that. And then, you're quite good to go. Next naman is, of course, you need to have the RT PCR test, which is valid for 72 hours. So, okay. So, this is where I kind of got into a snafu. Kasi, there were no direct flights from my home in Florida direct to Manila. So, I had to do parang 2 layovers to get to Manila. The thing is that, okay, so what I did is before I boarded so yung flight ko was from Florida to Dallas, to Texas, to San Francisco, then Manila. So, for me to be able to board my domestic flight, kasi nga, parang si RT PCR test, parang globally, kailangan na siya ngayon whenever you fly out, di ba? My family and I went to CVS. CVS and Walgreens are mga drugstores na parang Mercury drug natin dito sa Pilipinas, where you can get your RT-PCR test for free. Oh, di ba? Hello, Philippine government, free yung RT-PCR test. No, just kidding. So, yun, free yun. So, but the thing is that, yun nga, yun sa akin kasi, sa dami ng connecting flights ko, tapos parang may layover hours ako na medyo mahaba. By the time that I will be boarding my flight to Manila, maglalaps na. So, syempre, pagdating ko ng San Francisco, oh my gosh, ang gagawin ko? Nagpapanik na naman ako ng very, very slight. Nagtanong ako dun sa mga tao sa airport. Sabi naman nila, ma'am, hindi kailangan kasi PCR test ka rin sa Manila. Pero syempre, being the paraning nga na tao or may pagka-OC lang ako, I just want to make sure na walang magiging problema. I went ahead and took another RT-PCR test. Within 12 hours, magpa-flight na ako. Parang ganun. So, and good thing is that in San Francisco's airport, there is an RT-PCR testing center. Dito, wala. No, just kidding. So, meron naman talaga. Although, of course, you would have to pay a premium kasi you're in the airport na. And I get that. Sige. So, ginawa ko, sige, go ahead na lang din. So, finally, nung mag-check-in na for the flight, what happened is that they took me, my temperature and my child's. Tapos may form na naman na binigay yung airport staff that you have to fill out and sign off on, which is okay. Pagdating ko dun sa ground attendant, they asked for my passport, tapos they asked for the ECIF QR code, and they asked for the Bureau of Quarantine QR code. So, titingnan nila yun. So, that's why I'm telling you, do all those parang 3 days, parang 2 to 3 days before your flight, pwede mo na siyang gawin. So, gawin mo na siya. So, since I was able to do all that na, check-in was a breeze. Mabilis lang siya, wala akong naging problema. Next, what do you call this? So, okay, nag-board na kami ng plane, lumipad na. Then, finally, we landed in Manila, Terminal 2 na iya. So, pag-land, what's gonna happen is that a Coast Guard personnel will go inside the plane together with, hindi ko sure kung mga nurses sila or mga airport employees kasi naka like complete PPE covered, ganyan. They will take the temperatures of each passenger. Tapos after nun, magdi-deplane na kayo, pwede na kayong lumabas. Paglabas nyo, iisang area lang actually yung pupuntahan nyo. But then, the entrances are different depending on the kind of traveler that you are. So like, I am a balikbayan, I go to a different entrance. An OFW goes to a different entrance. Tapos there are people naman who are like assisting you, na naka-line up telling you where to go. So, the first desk that you would get to is the Bureau of Quarantine. So, of course, Bureau of Quarantine, you need to show this. Itong Bureau of Quarantine QR code. And then, they're gonna ask you if you are vaccinated here in the Philippines or not. So, in my case, I was vaccinated, but my daughter wasn't. So, when I said I'm vaccinated here, they look for this certification. This certification is from the local government unit where you had your vaccination done. You can get this before you fly out of Manila. It takes like a week, I think, to get this process. But I highly suggest, even if you don't fly out, get something like this na lang din for whatever purpose it may serve you. Tapos I had to show my quarantine card, not quarantine card, sorry, my vaccination card that has all the vaccine information. So I showed them that. Unfortunately, I couldn't avail of the 7-day quarantine. Kasi, okay, ganito yan. If you're vaccinated here in the Philippines, you get a 7-day quarantine. Pero if you're vaccinated somewhere else, you do to a 10-day quarantine. So, in my case, sabi nila, ma'am, wala po kasing vaccination yung anak nyo. So, tinanong ko, bakit may vaccination na ba para sa bata? Wala naman, di ba? But, I didn't have the energy at that time na makipagtalo. But, I was just putting it out there. And hindi nila kasalanan. Hindi kasalanan mga empleyado doon na magtanong ng ganon or magsabi ng ganon kasi they're just following protocol, and I get that. So, wala akong energy makipagtalo. Pero I just said, you know what? Sige na lang din. After that, they would take you to DOT's desk. And then, doon naman, ang hahanapin is the affidavit of undertaking and the hotel booking. Now, if you don't have the affidavit of undertaking printed out like I did, okay lang din yun. Kasi before you land, the FAs of the flight would give you the affidavit of undertaking and the customs declaration and waiver forms. So, okay lang yun. So, when you get to DOT's desk, they look for that affidavit and at the same time, your hotel booking. So, they would take a look at it, ganyan. Tapos, sa affidavit of undertaking, magsa-sign off sila. Pagkatapos nun, they're gonna take you to the third desk, which is where you pay for your RT PCR test. And then, you have the ECIF verification, data verification. So, they will look for, eto na, this one, yung galing sa Philippine Airlines. And you pay for the PCR test. The PCR test costs like 3,500 per person. So, 7,000 kami mag-ina. And then, aside from the receipt, they would give you like a schedule. Yun. They would give you a schedule of kung kailan makuha yung gagawin yung test. So, in my case, the test was done yesterday.
So, we go first. This is a double swab, ma'am.
Okay.
2 specimen collection in the mouth and then 2 in the nose.
Okay.
Okay, so we start first in the mouth.
In the mouth, okay.
So, open your mouth, ma'am. Yeah.
Hi.
And then, last, ma'am, open. Yeah. Okay. So, we go to your nose, ma'am.
Next, the nose.
Yeah, okay. Just relax. Hold your breath, okay? Don't move. Okay. Okay, hold your breath. Okay.
Sakit.
So, we're finished, ma'am.
Thank you.
Just
So,
wait for your result, ma'am, after 2 days.
okay. And then it will be sent via email, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Tapos pag na-send siya via email, what's the next step?
You have to inform the front desk that you already received the swab test result.
Aha.
And then, 14 na nila yun, ma'am.
Sila na yung magko-coordinate.
Yes.
Kasi di ba yung parang may Coast Guard something pa yan sa
Yes,
baba?
yes. So, they will be the one to, sila na nakakaalam doon.
Okay.
Until swab test lang po kami.
Okay, sige. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank
po.
you.
Thank
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. So, we were tested on the 7th day per schedule. So, if you're quarantining for 7 days, on the 5th day, test ka, 7th day, makakalabas ka na. In our case, 7th day kami tinest, and then the 10th day, makakalabas kami. After that, you go through immigration na, and then the baggage claim. Sa baggage claim, before you leave, they're gonna again ask for the affidavit of undertaking with the signature, i-verify, parang verified, yun yung pinaka-verification niya, yung signature ng DOT. And then, they will ask you for your customs and declarations form. Now, in terms of transport, from what I understood, if you're OFW, you have a separate transport. I think it's arranged between OWA and your employer. I'm not really sure. Please double check that. In my case, I could have done it through the hotel. I did kasi is I took the white taxis kasi they're bigger. So, since I had some luggages with me dahil dalawa nga kaming traveler. So, I took the bigger one. The yellow ones pwede din kasi sedan type yun. So, that's why I didn't go for it. Metered taxi naman, so walang problema. So, they brought me directly to the hotel. Other than that, yes, nakaka-overwhelm kasi I guess it's gonna be the new normal, at least for right now, kasi nga we need to make sure na walang transmission. I get that, pero there are things that I think I don't know if it's DOT or BOQ that can improve on it, kasi like for example RT PCR test, you can get that in 24 hours. So I don't understand why they need to do it in 2 days pa, kasi take additional gastos lang sa hotel. It's not necessary. Second, for the OFWs kasi, you can use, for RT-PCR, you can go for Red Cross. Whereas with me, parang sa Detoxicare na ako napunta agad. Kasi I think that's what PAL uses. Pero I suggest that you get another provider or 3 or 4 or more providers. Kasi, you know, it just gives you more options for the people. And also siguro baka kasi si Detoxicare, it takes them 2 days kasi ang dami nga naman 'di ba? Kasi kung sila lang versus Red Cross, you know what I mean? So I think we should have more providers, na parang option for providers ng RT-PCR testing. And let's do away with the additional day in the hotel na unnecessary naman talaga. Another tip pala, when booking your hotel, try to find a hotel that would match your needs. Kasi, like in my case, here in the New World, don't get me wrong, their staff is really trying to do their best with, kasi naka-skeletal manpower naman lahat ng establishments ngayon. So, but the thing is that, what I should have checked is, number 1, is there a microwave ba? Kasi I was like thinking 7 days lang ako eh. Hindi ko in-anticipate na magti 10 days ako. So in my case, or what I've learned at least, is that you have to check. Meron bang microwave oven? Meron bang ano pa yung mga facilities na meron dun sa room? Or equipments na meron dun sa room na you would probably need. At the same time, I also suggest that you check on other properties na, yun nga, yung meron parang kitchenette, kasi it would really help. And ask them if they allow delivery from outside. Kasi like in my case, here in this hotel, it's the hotel's rule na bawal yung food from outside, which I also get, kasi syempre they are trying to protect people, right? But then again, syempre, not all of us have the same budget. So you have to take a look at that also. Na parang, okay, will this property allow delivery of food? In my case, na-allow naman kasi I have a child, and their menu is quite limited, really. So, you know, I had to ask them na they would have to allow that. Be a little bit more flexible. And I'm very grateful to New World kasi they did a good job. They were considerate, and, you know, they helped naman a lot. So, there. I hope you learned a lot from this video. If you have another experience, please do share it down below kasi it would help people. And please do subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you so much for your time. Bye!